This week's Or You Die...
Done it again.
Is brought to you by Matt Wilkes. Thanks, Matt. Flav.
Yes.
Would you rather be kicked in the nuts by Harry Kane or have to take a nice friendly picture with your arms around Sol Campbell? Or you die.
No problem. I'd be kicked to death in my balls. I'd die from being kicked in the balls before I pose a picture with Sol Campbell, and I've got the story about being kicked in the balls by Harry Kane, and that's about as close to one of my heroes as I'm ever going to get. So no issue with that. Yeah, that's.
There are very few things that are worse than getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, or I don't know what, childbirth. Nah.
No, come on. I think they're milking it a bit.
If you get Harry Kane to do it in August, you want him, would it?
Isn't that good? Little stat straight off the bat.
That's why he's here.
Howson is here from Full Time Devils, and he's just a friend, really.
Yeah.
As much as anything, so he dropped in. He's struggling with man
dying
flu.
of a cold, yeah.
He's struggling with man
Certified
flu.
man
Yeah.
flu.
98% of the people who listen to this podcast will understand how difficult that is for you, Steve, so we appreciate that.
Is that the ratios?
Yeah, something like that. We've actually gone up recently, 3.6 for
nice.
female, so...
Hello.
It's just getting hit in the nuts. Let's just stay on that for a second before we talk about the football. As an MMA man, you must have gone through that once or twice?
No, not really.
No, not go near the nuts at all?
I used to play rugby league. I was actually very good at rugby league as well. Played for Great Britain, played for England, was professional for 5 years, and then...
What?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was 21.
Title of this video now.
When I was 21, they realised how shit I was, and I didn't get offered a first team contract. So I just started to skate in, and as an academy player, people were like, is he still?
Really?
But I once got kneed straight in the dick in rugby, and it bled.
From a knee?
Yeah, from a knee.
How sharp was the knee?
It was just a straight knee in the dick, man. It's not good. Not in the nuts, but you'd take one to the nuts. You'd think you could take one to the meat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Over the nuts. But no, that was bad, that.
This podcast is brought to you by the lovely people at FanLeague who wholly endorse any comment that comes out of our mouths. Only joking. FanLeague is a predictor app that we are involved in, and we've been involved in for a while, and you can get involved in it as well. There is a link in the description. We need new recruits for the weekend league, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because the great thing about the app, the great thing about creating leagues and the benefits of it, is the fact that you get so many stats in it. You can basically work as a team as well as compete against each other.
Yeah.
And everyone who's in our one for the weekend league, and we're going to start a new thing where Flav is going to do a mug roll call, which we'll explain in a second. We're not doing well enough, essentially.
No.
Our average, out of 13 results, our average is 6.85.
Not good enough.
It really is not good enough. And our position amongst all of the leagues...
That's essentially luck. Like that's more or less 1 in 2. So even if you picked anything, if your mum did it, you're more or less going to get six or seven results out of 13.
Probably, yeah. We're doing... It's almost good that it's impressive that we're doing that badly in this league, but it's not on me and it's not on him. No, it's on all of us.
I won £74 the other week. Yeah, I got 11 out of 13, and I would have got 12 out of 13, which would have been big money if Spurs had managed to get past West Brom. And as we know, they drew 1-1.
Disappointing. Double disappointment for you.
Where's our league in this?
So our league is 250th. We went down 21 places last week.
Horrendous.
So if you think you know your football, first of all, download the app. Second of all, search my name, James Alcott, 2 L's, 2 T's. I will add you as a friend and get you in this league because we need to sort something out here. Because we're supposed to be somehow be experts on this, and it's not working out. My average is 8.22.
That's good. You're propping everyone up pretty much.
A little bit, yeah. I'm the...
What's mine?
Yours is 7.38. You're in 18th in our league. I'm 7th, but you've done a couple of my picks, I think. Yeah. So I think you've been helping me out a little bit. But I've been away.
Yeah, well, that's really kind of you. Probably not true. If you want to download the app, the link is in the description below. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, then go to the iTunes or App Store rather and download FanLeague, all one word.
We'll start to give a few shout outs and do the mug roll call, and if you've got anything to say on that, again, we've got it's almost like a WhatsApp group in the app, so you can speak to us on that, but otherwise keep it to yourself because it's not good enough. In terms of mug roll call, first of all, we'll go Lee Lawler, you are the main man, thank you very much, from Newcastle Fan TV. 9.22 is his average out of 13, which is pretty good.
That's madness.
We're halfway through the season, that is impressive stuff.
Yeah.
But onto the mug roll call. So I'm going to reveal some names here, just not been doing it well enough. And Flav, you've got one word for them, haven't you?
Mug.
Yeah. So Phil Smallwood, Flav leapfrogged you this week.
Mug.
Yeah. Tom Mason.
Is anyone getting 1s and 2s and 0s?
Not that.
Well, okay.
Because that's got to be really hard to get
There is someone who's going to... we probably shouldn't be digging out because he is the owner of the app and we've met him a few times. Which is why he's in our league. Right. But we're going to do it anyway.
Well,
maybe that's why he made the app.
You are. You're going to say it. I'm going to be not...
No, I'm absolutely not going to say that, James.
Okay, well, Tom Mason, he dropped 3 places last week.
Mug.
I believe for you. Mug. Jed Collie-Priest, who's in the office upstairs, dropped 2 places below Flav this week.
Mug.
And Marcus, the owner of FanLeague, he is rock bottom of our league.
Absolutely.
41st with an average of 5.14. That's unbelievable.
Well,
call him a mug.
No.
Do it.
No way.
Mug.
No, I love Marcus. He's a lovely man, and I won't do it. I can't believe you just put me in that position.
I wouldn't. Well, I knew you weren't going to do it anyway. But so there you go. It is really good fun. There's so many good stats. I'm one of the best QPR fans on the game as well. Just to say.
Well, that's the interesting thing actually is the fact that you compete against other teams. So you put your team in Tottenham Hotspur. And then you can see whether Spurs fans are doing better than Arsenal fans.
And do you know which fans are the best at predicting?
No.
Rochdale. Around your way.
I mean, there's one guy.
He's scared. Well, there you go.
He's good.
That's the
Maybe you don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that, haven't you?
I like a bit of trivia. I do it most weeks,
do.
and that was missing in the last couple of weeks when Flav wasn't here. Only 3 players born after the Premier League began, August 1992, have scored Premier League hat-tricks. Who are they? You've got the whole podcast to try and figure it out. It also goes in the comments. If we don't get all 3...
So they have to be born after 92?
After 92, which means they are 24, 25.
Lukaku
is 1. Well done.
That's an easy one, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say...
You've got time. You've got the whole podcast. Okay? And I'll tell you what, one more trivia question, because I saw this and I just thought it's so good. Before we get into Man United versus Man City and that huge game this weekend.
Harry Kane.
Is not the answer.
How old is he?
Oh, what? It's one of them. Sorry, Harry Kane is one. Harry Kane is one. Sorry. I was going on to my second trivia question.
Sorry.
I thought you were answering that before I asked the question.
No.
So yeah, you're just missing one more. Let us know in the comments, or I guess you can tweet us at Bull Street as well if you know the 3. And Howson, it's on you really. Your trivia knowledge is being tested. Here's another one because I saw this and this was amazing. So Colin Quainer, right, plays for Huddersfield. He became the 12th Premier League footballer with Q as the start of his surname to play in the Premier League.
That's good.
Right? So there's 12, and he's the 5th when you get rid of all the Quins.
Right.
Because obviously everyone's going to go Quinn. And Quinn.
Quaresma, who played for...
Charisma is one, so there's 4 others. Can you guess them?
No.
Those are your 2 bits of trivia.
Frank Quadro.
Frank Quadro is another one. Good, you got 2. So yeah, see if you can get those, and we'll reveal the answers next week. Right, let's get into the football. I'm going to say something here, and it's going to be a little bit controversial.
Go on.
But we need to get behind Man United this weekend. We need to support them. Howson, do you agree?
I guess I've got a dog in this fight, but it's not going to happen, is it?
I think, honestly, like everyone's going, great football from Man City. Wow, they're such a good team. This needs to end now. For the sake of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And this season, and from a neutral, watching it with interest but no real care of who
I'm absolutely
Man United. We all need to get behind Man United.
Yeah, I'm with you there because as good as Man City have, all right, no crack on. As good as Man City have been, I don't care about good football. I'm not bothered that I don't care who wins it. The one who matters the most amount of points should win it. So I'm not bothered about the fact that Man City are this great football team. It can't be this runaway league. There has to be some sort of competitor.
We need something.
And ultimately, there's one club that's done it right, and there's one club that ain't done it right. And Man United have done it right over the years. They've built up slowly. Man City come in, all the money, everything you could possibly want. The fact that they're playing like this, it should be the bare minimum given the investment that's in that team and the amount of money it's cost to bring Guardiola and his team over. All the players been brought in, over £1 billion spent. Why? Of course,
they spent more on left backs than. I bet this is a really interesting stat. I mean, I'm probably miles away, but I bet they've spent more on left backs than 17 teams in the league have spent on their entire club.
Yeah, no doubt. They've got Danilo, who's 26 million. Has he played a minute of football?
I think he played last week.
Oh, has he played last week? Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for Man City. But it's pathetic.
So what I've done, it's time to go.
Time to go.
How do you feel about Man City as a rival now and how that's changed?
It's good for the City of Manchester that there's a big club as well as United in there that's getting that way. I think there's a lot of foreign City fans appearing, but I don't feel like they've increased what they've got locally. And there was always this myth that everyone who's a Mancunian supports City. perpetuated by Mancunians,
which
is utter bollocks. Statistically, United have had the higher attendances since the Second World War every single season. Manchester's a footballing city, and United is the club of that city. Yeah, there's quite a few hardcore City fans in there as well, but the vast majority are always red.
I think as new generations grow up in the city,
this is the problem.
Yeah,
this is the problem I was getting to, because I was talking about this with strangers to people, because she really don't even like football. But my wife yesterday, and I was saying it's hard for, like, my son's 11. I don't see him ever going to the match with his mates. I don't see that on the horizon, because it's so hard to get a ticket at United. Where's that culture?
Yeah.
He comes with me, he goes with my dad. Where's that culture of him going with his mates? Now, we take the piss out of City because they don't have a lot of fans, and it's cheaper to go and watch City than it is Crawley. But
Is it?
It is.
Wow.
But there is a generation in Manchester that have got the access to go and watch top draw footballers, which have got to take my hat off that they've got cheaply, affordably, and with your mates, because that's what the Premier League and a lot of football in general is losing, is that culture of my generation is probably one of the last ones that went to the match with the mates, because you could get tickets with your mates together. I don't see that on the horizon for people at the moment, and that's why you're going to lose. United might have banging crowds now, we might have banging crowds in 10 years time, but there's going to be a cultural miss somewhere where those ballooning dickheads of 18 to 21 just getting on it all weekend, going to the match, where are they?
Yeah.
Are they getting their fix at away games? Not United, not, because they're like gold dust away tickets with a United name on it. So I think City are stealing a bit of a march in that sort of sense, and I don't know how United can swing that around.
I think that's a cracking point, and I think even in the sort of latest generation, or say my generation, there was a load of guys who were Arsenal, Man United fans, weren't going to the games. First of all, because we were in Surrey. Second of all, because of the money, and they ended up going to Brentford because they could do, and they wanted to. It was still an appetising thing to go to a game and feel it. This is a shot in the dark as well. Maybe you can tell us, having a son. That generation of these kids who know football through FIFA, are they going to have that same desire to, if they can't go and watch Man United, to go to Rochdale or Bolton or whatever? Are they going to have that desire to do it? And initially I was thinking, as you were talking there, like, going to a lower league team, that's how it happens. They kind of often, fans get disillusioned with the big teams and go to find something else. But probably the worry in the long run is that no one will bother with either, because it's football so accessible. We were talking about that actually this morning, weren't we?
Yeah. I think you'll get a certain perspective or a certain percentage of young people that see beyond the kind of shining lights of the Premier League and understand that football for matchday going fans is often about the connection between your brothers, your mates, and going together to watch the game. And often the game gets in the way of a good time.
I said this yesterday. For a lot of the lads that are getting on it, the match is a side. It's an excuse to just get on a session.
Yeah.
But it's about the session.
Yeah.
The session's what we're here for.
And if they can do that at Rochdale, if they can do it at Crawley, then and they can't afford to pay 60 quid to go and watch Man United or 20 quid to go and watch City or whatever it is, why not go to watch Crawley Town or Rochdale? And actually, football as a whole is going to benefit a lot more, because if a young lad's more inclined to get together and create an atmosphere at a smaller club, money's going to come through their door. They'll be able to kind of support their football club, and
is that actually happening in large enough numbers to support them teams? Because when I look at, I've got a few mates that play League 1, League 2, Conference North sort of level, and I'm like, I know what they're earning, and they're earning some good money, and you're like, how are they paying 20 people that sort of wage? And I'm not sure, maybe you're probably not even the highest that's in there. Like, it's 7 quid through the door, there's 38 people in the crowd.
I think the biggest threat to it isn't so much the match day going fan, it's the fact that it's the apathy in young people towards football. They get their fix from football from YouTube and playing FIFA with their mates. That's the kind of building and relationships that they have with each other through sitting on the couch and playing FIFA, or even in their own.
We don't realise how good we got it here, because I was in Bahrain last month, and I went to a Bahrain Premier League game, and a lot of it's shared facilities because it's a tiny island. And the game that I went to was a Bahrain Premier League game, and there was 80 people there. And you're like, we kid ourselves, it's a bit of a global game. It's a European-centric game. Yeah. And England, especially with the depth of clubs that we've got. Look at the attendances in League Two and
the pyramid's insane.
It's actually crazy when you think how many people are watching live football here, and we think, clubs can't survive in this. They really couldn't survive in another country, like Spain and even Germany, like the lower leagues. There's not the support down there.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I think there's people, I'm sure, will let us know, but it's so difficult to be. It becomes harder and harder to be a fan of the top teams, because I'm sure some fans can't be asked to get off their arse. Other fans are desperate to go and can't. So it's double-edged sword, isn't it? On to the game itself. And what I've done here, and we'll put it up on screen, is I've done a pretty attacking, I would say, combined Man United versus Man City 11. Let's go through it. And Steve, it'd be interesting to know if you disagree with it. So I've gone with...
I definitely disagree with it.
Right. Okay, well, go on. Talk me through it.
We'll start with David De Gea in net, third best goalkeeper in the world. Why you didn't pick Sergio Romero, I don't know.
What? All right, sorry.
You also had Joel Pereira you could have gone with.
True.
But yeah, David De Gea, I suppose, will do.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bay's in there, and that's an obviously. And then you've got 3 out of the 4 are City players when it's one of the worst defences. They have an average of 107% possession every week, and they concede goals left, right, and centre. They have one shot and it goes in. You can't have 3 out of the 4 as City.
Break it down then, right? So I had Walker or Valencia at right back. Do you want
Walker or do you want a guy that strangles people? There you go, Valencia's in.
That's not the way I live my life, Howson. Maybe you do. But Walker for me is a bit more explosive, and that's why I've picked him. Valencia's probably better, bizarrely, defensively.
Yeah, I think defensively, Tony's got it. Going forward, he just frustrates the shit out of you, because when he puts a cross in, it's a good cross. He loves that pass back to nobody.
I mean, last year I would have picked Walker. This year, not so much. As he turned to a Judas scumbag.
Yeah. The other centre-back position, I went with John Stones. I wanted to go with Vincent Kompany, but you can't do it because he just doesn't play enough. But are you saying there's a better centre-back in the Man United team than John Stones?
Let's do Mendy first.
What's he trying? What's that? Why has he done that? Why has he done that?
He wants to think about it.
Right.
No, I've got reasons.
Oh, right.
Left back is a random one. Because you've got, obviously, Luke Shaw had a great game the other night, but hasn't had that many opportunities. Darmian is generally not that great.
Or a left back.
You got Mendy. Delph has come in and done good stuff, but yeah, I've gone for Mendy there.
Right, so you can't pick Luke Shaw because he's played once. You don't want to pick Kompany because he's always injured.
Yeah.
And you pick a guy that's played 4 games.
Who, Mendy?
Yeah, he's got you there.
But so who do you pick instead of him at left back?
I'm just going through your logic on this.
I'm asking you who you would put in place of him.
But I think if they're all fit, Mendy's the best.
So you
However,
Not
your logic,
your logic, yeah.
You said right. So who are you putting at left back?
I'll probably put Mendy there, to be honest.
Who's played most games out of all?
Probably Delph.
Yeah,
Bizarrely.
Delph's probably really nice. Yeah, I really like Delph. I really
Said
like
no one
him as a
ever.
footballer.
Right, so let's go to the other centre half then. So John Stones, no. I mean, are you insane? He's like 7th in the list. Kompany, if everyone's fit, Kompany's absolutely banging, and I hate that he plays for City. He's really missed out on it. He's absolutely banging. I hear that he leads the analysis sessions. I don't know. We should have been. If we wasn't, we should have been. I hear that he leads the analysis sessions at at City, which makes me think he's going to be a top manager.
He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, I suppose he's got time to study that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not him, Phil Jones this season has been absolutely phenomenal. And if we're not going with Phil Jones, Lindelof's on a par with John Stones.
No, he's not.
He really is. He can't tackle. He's really good on the ball. That's exactly what you're getting with John Stones.
There's a reason why Pep Guardiola spent 50 million on John Stones.
He also spent how much on Bravo last season, and has had to replace him already. So
fair point. But John Stones is still here, and so that's why I've put him in there. Right, midfield 3 and the front 3 are a bit ridiculous, but when you look at the amount of talent that's going to be playing in this game, I really didn't know what to do in terms of formation. But I've gone midfield 3. I've gone De Bruyne, Pogba, and then I felt like we needed some kind of defensiveness there, so I've gone with Fernandinho. Who's better, Fernandinho or Matic?
I think Matic.
If you look at what Man United have essentially turned their. Because last year I was writing Mourinho off. Do you remember? And I was just like he's lost it. He's gone. He's done and dusted. He's it's all over and done with. But he brought Matic in. He knew exactly. Well, it wasn't an exciting signing, but it was the right signing for for United. And I think he's just turned them into something else this year that we weren't last year.
Look
That's
at that
it.
record we've just broken at home, 40 games straight.
That's incredible, yeah.
It's utterly ridiculous. Yeah. So, and a lot of that's going to be down to Matic. We've conceded 1 goal, I think, in that time at home. So from a defensive point of view, you say Matic, Pogba's in there, all fighting, and then the formation's crazy, to be honest.
I know. But you've got to fit in all these players.
De Bruyne has to be in there. Big fan of Aguero. Aguero put him in, and De Bruyne in the exact same sort of bracket as Company. Like, why wasn't we in for them? Would have loved to have seen them playing in red. Unfortunately, they're going to end up as legends at City. You probably not really got much arguments if you're just basing them. I don't think they play together well. Jesus, Aguero and Lukaku up front. I mean, on current form, I think you probably got to find a place for Marshall. Looks utterly magic. Like, the things he's
Sterling in the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
Ahead of Sane in the way he's been playing.
Exactly.
Oh.
Don't read the papers. Don't read the papers, because the papers will tell you Sane's doing this.
Just listen to a biased Man United fan.
Yeah. Just listen to neutral Howson in the neutral corner over here and tell you that Manchester United players are better than the City players.
What I have got in my team there is that the spine of that team, and that wasn't on purpose, is a Man United spine. And I think in this game, what you're kind of seeing, in what is a bizarre team, fair enough. When it comes to this game, the sort of strength of Man United and the quality throughout, I guess, you've got of Man City, but maybe not that same kind of steel. Those are the two things that are coming together this
Teams
weekend.
Built in their image of the manager.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you think is the most important aspect of this game? Stopping City or concentrating on Man United?
Without Paul Pogba, I have no idea how United win this game. And I'm sure Jose's been up all night with his... I hope he's been up all night with his assistants trying to figure out a way, because it's not good to be over-reliant, Spurs fans, you know that, on one player.
Oh, don't carry on.
But we are. The truth is we are over-reliant on Paul Pogba. We've got a solid defence. We've got the best goalkeeper in the world. Moving it through the midfield to get it at the feet of those forwards so they can go and do their job is Paul Pogba. Matic does that excellent screening job. He's pretty basic in what he does when he's got the ball at his feet. Paul Pogba's the magic. Yesterday we saw him pick the ball up and throw it over the top for one of the goals. And he was in the position, in that sort of left-sided number 8 sort of position, if you had a midfield 3, where he picked the ball up, where he's deadly. And I don't like us playing a 4-2-3-1 because I think the number 10 gets in the way of him a little bit. I like him having that sort of space on that sort of left-hand side number 8 to drift into. And when he picks the ball up there and moves it into the forwards can stay forward.
Yeah.
The wingers can stay wide because he can hit them. They're not always coming in and looking for it. And I think when he's not been playing, Mkhitaryan's gone, I need to do the creative side of stuff, and he's come all the way back. He's not effective this far back. And then because he's not getting the ball even further forward, Lukaku's gone, I've got to graft, I've got to start picking the ball up, with 6 defenders in front of me. That's not his game. His game's on the last shoulder, his game's beating the line, his game's, that sort of stuff. And I think because we've not had the ability on the ball to just move it into that third with real quality that Paul Pogba offers, everybody else has come back, which has totally nullified us.
Yeah.
We create half as many chances when he's out of the team than when he's in the team, which means that we're going to have to somehow create chances against City. We're going to get chances if we go for him. If we treat it like we treated Watford, which I was impressed with, Arsenal, which I was impressed with, you almost treat it like an away game at Old Trafford, which I don't like to do. But let's be real for a second here. This is an unbelievably good City team. And Pep Guardiola doesn't change his outlook. He's going to attack. So you need to attack their counter-attack. And you've got to use our strengths. That would probably be Marshall. In my head, it'd be Rashford for his pace. Mourinho's probably not going to think the same way. I reckon we're probably going to go 3-5-2. Wouldn't be surprised to see Fellaini in midfield. We need a midfield 3. First and foremost, I'll be happy to see Carrick in there as someone who can pick a pass.
So who's the 3?
It's probably going to be a midfield 2, and it's probably going to be Herrera and Matic, which really hasn't worked at all this season. But I'd personally love to see Carrick, Matic and Fellaini. 3 big lads that can maybe try and bully that City team a little bit. 3
You're
lads
going to
who
end
are
up being
going to...
deep there though, aren't you?
But 2 of them lads can hit a pass. And Fellaini can go and cause a bit of havoc in what is, admittedly, a pretty weak City defence. You've seen the likes of Huddersfield and that causing them problems, especially at set pieces. We've just got to put a team of absolute giants on there, and we've got to be smart, and we've got to try and attack them at the right sort of time. We can win this game. I don't think we're going to, though.
I think Man City have been absolutely more or less unstoppable apart from that one game. And
the last 3 games they've been...
Yeah, they've been shaking, but they've found a way. And you know, there's an old cliche: you got to win the games you don't play well in. But you know, by stopping Man City is the kind of narrative of this season. How do we do it? And Mourinho has proven over and over again that you cannot underestimate him when all odds are stacked against him. He finds a way.
He would destroy a game.
Yeah, and this is what I think. This is what I think is going to happen.
It's going to be an awful spectacle.
He'll have to destroy, and I like that, and I like the fact that after this game, I suspect that Pep's going to go out and arms up in the air about anti-football again, like that football owed him a right to allow him to play the football he wants to play.
I hope so, because that means we probably won't.
Well, you won or got a draw out of it. I think we're going to see Mourinho destroy the game in any kind of free-flowing sense, and good. I hope so. Again, I've got no interest in sitting down as a neutral.
He does this often, doesn't he? Where a team sort of runs away, Mourinho shows people the way, and then you'll see them stutter then because everyone else has just copied what he's done for a couple of weeks. Then City figure out, oh no, that manager will figure out what's happening, and you often see that. United or whoever, and I know what you're saying, everyone sort of needs to unite and pull City down a little bit. City are going to have a wobble at some point this season. I hope it starts this weekend. It's just how long does it last, and are we able to capitalise if that lasts?
I mean, if you look at it, it's a little record between the two managers. Guardiola's had much the better of it. So he has been a bit of a kind of thorn in Mourinho's side. So it's going to be a fascinating game. I can't wait to watch it. And this has come from someone who doesn't watch a huge amount of football outside of Tottenham. You know?
Well, the Sunday games are absolutely incredible. The final thing I wanted to talk about with Man United, someone who I was so impressed with last week, is Lingard, who you're not putting in your team from what we've just discussed, if you could. But he's, in terms of what I saw against Arsenal, it felt a bit like the Jose Mourinho Real Madrid side in terms of the transitions that they had, in terms of the counter-attacking, how quickly they were able to counter-attack. That third goal is a great example of that. And Pogba's a huge part of that, of course, but Lingard was, crucial in that. And his assist for Rashford yesterday was so much harder than people give credit for. It was a beautiful pass.
Jesse's problem is he's not Marshall, and he's not got that ridiculous end product where you just sort of go, how's he doing that sometimes? Quite a lot of what he does is quite ordinary. He does, yeah. He loves a Wembley trip. Yeah. Like he does have certain really good qualities in him, but he's not the most consistent high performer. But he is the kind of guy that you definitely want in a squad. He's almost like a Ji-Sung Park sort of player, where there's a right time and a right place that you play him, and the likes of Lingard and Rashford are the soul of the club. You know they stood on the Stretford end. You know his dad. You see his dad at the match, and you know that he stood there as well. And you know that having a fan on the pitch means a lot, especially in these games. Yeah. Rashford, one where he scored at 1-0 at the Etihad, and it kicked off, and you've got 18-year-old Marcus Rashford and like 5 stone wet through Jesse Lingard at the first 2 steaming in there when it goes off, because it means something to them. Yeah. And I think local Reds often give Lingard a little bit of an easier ride because of that, and maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong, maybe you should treat everyone the same. No. I think because he's local, because you know that he stood there, because you know that he feels it and he means it, he gets given an easy ride. But he's not going to win a Ballon d'Or. He's probably not going to be in most people's starting 11 week in, week out. But if you look at the job that he did even at Chelsea at home last year, when everyone was expecting Chelsea to wipe the floor with us, him and Marcus Rashford, because of the work rate and the energy that they've got off the ball, and I think that's what doesn't get seen a lot by people who are watching on telly. Yeah. They're not seeing that work rate off the ball, that movement, and Jesse Lingard is all about work rate and movement. That's why I think the Ji-Sung Park sort of comparison really works with him. Squad player, soul of the club.
Can I ask a question?
No.
How am I feeling? How are you feeling? Like going into this game, what emotionally? Like forget all the tactics and all that stuff.
Couldn't really take much pleasure in. I mean, I took a lot of pleasure on Twitter, but I couldn't really take much pleasure after beating Arsenal, because I knew without Paul Pogba was so ordinary, and I don't know why was so ordinary. Or is Paul Pogba that good that when we don't have him, we just look garbage?
Yeah. But how are you feeling inside?
I don't have feelings, mate.
You're not going to say that you're worried, are you?
I am worried. Yeah, of course I am worried. Yeah. Because this City team's, it's just got that unstoppable air about it. Like they're wobbling. Like I put 25 quid on from a draw in play in the 91st minute the other day, and pissing one, didn't they? And I was like, that sums this City team up, doesn't it? Even when you're expecting them to just capitulate, they're not doing so.
What I would imagine for you in particular, I'm guessing, is that being the underdog must feel really alien to you as well, and not nice.
Yeah, I guess City fans have had this for their entire lives, haven't they, when they come and play United. But when they were shit, like when we were shit and Liverpool were on top, we would always somehow find a way and make it even. Like even when there was dog shit, we would somehow just make it competitive, or they would make it competitive. And you've got the likes of Sean Goater, when we're like European champions, and Sean Goater was coming in and scoring goals and winning against you, and you're like...
Yeah. So after losing 4 Premier League matches in a row against Man City, Man United have only lost 1 of their last 5 derbies against them. So it's... And the last home game that you lost was to Man City as well, so it is going to be so
and that was a lot
tight.
of bollocks and all. That was the one where I think Rooney got booked.
POGBA had a stinker in that game.
It should have been a penalty with Bravo 2-footing Rooney. You had Lingard and Ibrahimovic, just either of them couldn't decide. If one of them slots in the easiest chance they've ever had in their life, it's 2 all at half time, I think, or 1 all at half time. Totally different story, but yeah.
We're still going to be talking about the Merseyside derby, so stick around for that. And Soldiers Lost in Battle is back after it was neglected by you, Flav, last week.
Yes.
You have a look at the comments, people saying, get James back to revive it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I've got one, and it's a long story, but it's a beautiful one, but also poignant and sad, so stick around for that. But first of all, I've got a new bit, Flav. You know I love a bit.
Yeah, you do.
And this one is about reminiscing about the good times in football. Okay?
Those good times, yeah.
Well, yeah, you could say, Flav,
Go on.
those were the days. Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah? So, what I want people to do is write down in one sentence moments that you miss in football, okay? So, for example, here's one that I've got here.
Go on.
So, one from Jed in the office, when Draper Tools used to be sponsors of football clubs. Was it?
Well, outside of Southampton.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
They had a couple of teams, I think.
Really?
I think
Was it in Oldham as well? I feel like Oldham
might have been Oldham.
Draper
Or was it
Tools,
Leeds?
yeah.
Let us know. Another one. This was your one, I think, junior as well, when all boots were black.
Yeah.
I remember John Barnes wearing white ones. I think it was the 96 FA Cup final,
Yeah.
and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, well, look, you've got to be good. You've got to be. John Barnes was a brilliant, absolutely brilliant white player, and you got to be skillful and good to wear flash boots.
He was
in my opinion, but like there's people that turn up for a five-a-side in luminous yellow boots who are average. They
and that's not good enough. Yeah.
Should not be allowed.
There was a guy yesterday, I was in the Adidas shop yesterday, there was a guy trying on the gold Predators.
Wow.
And in my head, I went, you better be good. I nearly said it to him. Just a random guy.
Don't do it, mate.
I would think that if Paul Pogba ran out onto the pitch with gold Predators going, you're taking liberties. Like, you're a good footballer, right? You're up there in the Premier League, but you're not Diego Maradona. Get those boots off.
Absolutely.
And one of my favourite things about Eric Dyer, like, limited in certain aspects of his play, but you wear for his first couple of seasons, first you like blackout Adidas. I was like, you are the balls.
Yeah.
I do like a good blackout.
Yeah.
My son's just getting into blackout boots.
Is
well.
he?
I think I've just hammered it into
You
him
just
so
like that.
much.
You just single tier.
But, yeah, so
We can do some black boots.
that's
We'll get you some black boots, yeah.
You just put the luminous ones back.
I quite like these, Dad.
We just didn't even say. We just go. Just come in. Just kiss the top.
New
of the
Preds are all black, aren't they? I like it. Apart from the gold ones. Put
Yeah.
them back.
Footballers with just gentle bellies. Paul Merson, David May,
Mickey Quinn.
Ian Marshall.
Mickey Quinn was probably more than a gentle belly, really, wasn't it?
poking slightly out the
Just a slight
Steve
little
Bruce.
shade of a second chin.
Yeah.
You just don't see
Love
it.
that.
Paul Merson used to have it as well.
Proper football.
Just lovely.
Even Lettice
time.
had one of them ones, like skinny blokes that drink a lot and then they end up with a proper little pot belly. Lettice at the end of his career just had this lovely little pot belly.
He did have a lovely gentle belly. Yeah, he did.
Gentle, yeah, he's superb days.
What else we got? Oh, Frank Sinclair scoring own goals.
That's a need. No one's going to know what that means.
They will. They used to do it all the time. I love it.
Yeah, but they're not 30 years old.
Right, this is my last one. I'll open it up to the floor if you've got any. But last one is Ron Atkinson in his first game for Nottingham Forest going to the wrong dugout.
That's not the one-time play, though. You can't. It's not like it's not reminisce about that happening every week, can you?
It's my bit, Stephen. Right? It's my bit, and I can say whatever I want. I want it as trivial, as simple, as tiny as possible.
Pain on the gate.
That I was about to say. Yeah, being able to just pay in coins on the gate to get in.
£1.80 in the straight for them.
Right, the one time my dad in kind of recent years that he hadn't been able to get in at the time, he hadn't been able to get into White Hart Lane was against Man United, and he was livid that he wasn't allowed to pay on the gate and get through. He just didn't. And I remember we went home and we drove all the way to White Lane, come back and had to sit in the front room and listen to it on the radio, and we got beat 2-1.
Listening to games on the radio.
Yeah.
I
can't
you probably
do it now.
never had to do that, but
I don't know the last time I did that.
I can't do
96 when Beckham scored that goal against Wimbledon. My dad had to work and I had to sit in the car listening to it.
Well, just with the...
Yeah.
too much.
No.
Someone trying to describe that goal
Yeah.
visually, and you're like, I guess he scored from the halfway line.
Yeah.
I remember actually... yeah, that's about
It's
all I got.
just dead air for about 6 seconds.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You're like,
He scored.
Yeah. I remember someone described who'd seen Klinsmann's second goal for Tottenham. It was like the sort of overhead kick, but it wasn't a scissor kick. It wasn't like the best kind of overhead kick. It was one you'd
Not
done
Sinclair.
with 1 foot. Yeah, it's not Sinclair. And someone described it as the best goal he'd ever seen. But because we got caught up in the Klinsmann hype at the time,
Right.
Klinsmann's just scored the best goal I've ever seen. And in my head, I'm trying to imagine what this fucking incredible goal might have been like, and then see it in it about three weeks later on some sort of match of the day clip and go, well, all that.
Yeah. Oh.
I've been living a dream for the last 3 weeks. And that's it. Less football on the internet. Less
what we
football.
need. Less football.
That's what we needed. Less
Arsenal
football.
being competitive
Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
Didn't they finish above you last year?
doesn't mean that they're not competitive.
Okay.
Right, Merseyside derby. Everton are winless in 17 successive Premier League visits to Anfield. Drawn 8. Which is not bad, is it? Lost 9 since a 1-0 win in September 99. Thanks to who? Kevin Campbell.
Oh, I was literally just about to say, I was chatting to Kev Campbell yesterday.
No, you
yeah,
weren't.
I'll show you the message.
What?
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday, so he sent me a happy birthday.
Kevin Campbell sent you happy
When
birthday.
did you meet Kevin Campbell?
I know Kevin Campbell.
course you did.
I play snooker with him.
What life are you living?
What is this?
So anyway, I was talking to him.
I'm a presenter on YouTube as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have ex-football friends.
The last time I spoke to him was September, and it was just before United played them, and Everton was flying, wasn't they? Kinda. And they looked good.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, like, if you can find a goal scorer, it's a hell of a team you've got here. And then after he messaged us, I messaged him back saying, look, I just looked at the conversation last time we spoke. I was like, it's gone a bit wrong with this, hasn't it? And he said, we've got Big Sam and some
It'll
other
be
stuff
alright.
that's probably not
Well, this is it, guys.
printable. But I said, do you know what you need? I said, you need a 1999 vintage Kevin Campbell.
Yeah.
That's what they need, because he kept him up, didn't he, that year? And,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
he
guy's
was
an absolute
crucial.
legend
Yeah.
at Everton for that. But I think that's what they need. They need just a big unit goal scorer that's going to keep him.
Steve Sedgley texted me again.
All right, if we're doing this, I'm mates with Mickey Hazard. Yeah, literally no one will know what that means, but to me it means a lot.
That's fine.
He's a
Amazing.
lovely man.
Liverpool, who are you mates with who's a random footballer? Let us know.
Yeah.
Liverpool have scored 4 90th minute winning goals against Everton in the Premier League. No side has done that more against a specific opponent. But should Everton win this one,
They're not going to.
Sam Allardyce, and it is the Sam Allardyce factor, which I'm sure Flav will be able to elaborate on in a second as his agent, would have defeated Liverpool in the Premier League as a manager of 4 different clubs.
Wow.
He's done it with Palace, done it with West Ham, he's done it with Bolton.
Look, he's the man.
He'll out-tacticked him.
He is the man. Like if there is a manager out there who can beat Liverpool at Anfield, it's Sam Allardyce.
There's a mad Venn diagram to be done with like Hodgson,
Yeah.
Allardyce,
Pardew.
Pulis, and Pardew, isn't there?
Huge
Come
in
on,
there
can
as well.
anyone do that? And just I want to know what that looks
Allardyce
like.
is at the top of the shit manager tree.
Well, he's managed England.
Which makes him, which actually makes him quite good.
Tick.
You know,
It's on the
he's
cards here, isn't it?
and look, and if his name wasn't Sam Allardyce and was something like,
You can just put an
Jose.
accent on Allardyce and it'd be Allardyce.
yeah, exactly. If it was Samuel Allardyce,
In the same-
then it would be. People would think it'd be different because he's gruff, kind of no-necked, kind of tiny shoulder. He's got a massive head and tiny little shoulders.
Yeah.
That's people are being.
Which leads to people thinking he's got a smaller brain.
He's got a
Does it?
huge skull.
In that same vein of managers who've got too many Premier League jobs, who's the only manager to have done that?
To do what?
To got,
Drink a pint of wine?
Beaten Liverpool with 4 different teams.
Well, you got to think of someone who's had a million different jobs. Hasn't it?
Pardew?
Hodgson.
No. Neither of those.
Harry
Harry Redknapp.
Redknapp.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Also, interesting, Wayne Rooney going back. That'll be good as well. Because he's got quite a good record, hasn't he, against Liverpool? Was he
He's
not?
got a few goals,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
We'll talk about Brighton Huddersfield just for a second because one, I don't think you probably know too much about it. Secondly, we haven't got that much time. We've been chatting away for quite a while. But what I quite like about this is, one, it's first top flight encounter between those two teams, which should be reflected. We can't just talk about the big teams. The second thing, Lewis Dunk has got on his spat there. Lewis Dunk, he scored his 3rd own goal of the season last week. And the most in a season is 4 from Skirtle.
Wow.
In the season where they nearly won the league, 2013-14.
That's him.
What's a killer for Lewis Dunk is that his own goal to game ratio is incredible in comparison to anyone else. So the best out there is Richard Rufus. Do you remember Richard Rufus?
Charlton. Yeah.
99 games played in the Premier League, 5 own goals. That's a games per own goal of 19.8.
So every 19 games he scores an own goal.
Richard Dunn's got the most ever. He's got 10 in the Premier League.
Is it that they're aggressively attacking everything, or is it that...
But don't have the technique to back it up, possibly.
Yeah, it just bounces off their 50p head and goes in or something.
Yeah. Michael Dewberry, friend of the of Bull Street, he's next in there in line with 32 games per own goal.
Self-proclaimed 50p head as well. That's what he calls himself. So maybe there is a...
Right, maybe there's a...
How many did Carragher end up with? Because he scored 2 in one game against
So Carragher's not on this table.
And against Spurs at White Lane did that as well.
That's what
2?
Yeah, 2 in a game.
He's
Loves a brace, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think in the Premier League, I think he's maybe got less. But so this is what Lewis Dunk has got to be wary of. And I wonder if you can put a bet on Lewis Dunk to score an own goal. Because his games per own goal ratio is 5 games.
in the Premier League.
And 3 own goals.
Yeah, every 5 games he'll score an own goal instead of the 19 that the current leader Richard Rufus, who's
Do you
another.
reckon he needs a separate team top? Mate,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
That way.
It's like you've got all of this space to aim for.
You
That
probably
little
just-
bit of space there.
You probably just laugh. And if he does actually get another own goal this season, you just be like, all right,
what can I do?
Yeah, so I feel sorry for Lewis Dunk, but I mean he's actually one of their best players as well.
I don't feel sorry for him.
So that'll be an interesting one. And I think in terms of the FanLeague app, that's one where you hedge your bets, don't you? Because
Can I just backtrack slightly, just in case we don't get back to it? The Man United versus City. If you were betting on FanLeague, would you hedge that game? Would you go for a home and an away win, or because what I've gone for is I've gone for a draw,
right,
and I've gone for a Man City win.
Yeah, I've done the exact same thing. I've hedged it as well. I've gone for a draw, and normally, if I'm going to hedge it,
can you hedge it all 3?
You can do that. Yeah, it's just going to cost you a little bit more. But normally, I'll go if I'm going to hedge it, I'll go for whatever I feel, and then a home win if I'm not backing the home team initially.
Yeah.
But for this one, Man City is just so strong that I just can't see Man City.
And how about and obviously you're going to go for a Man United, and probably would you hedge a draw as well?
Yeah, I'm feeling a draw, to be honest. I don't know if I'm hoping or feeling, actually.
And Liverpool and Everton.
It's got to be Liverpool. Yeah, that is a banker for me.
And I've
hedged. You know what? They've got a very, very strong team. Like when you look at the names in there, it's experienced. It just can't find anyone that can score a goal from that. Sandro,
if there's anyone
in all due respect, is absolutely shite. So if they had a goal scorer, they'd be a dangerous team. So I actually think that a double draw could be on the cards.
Apart from Alexandra of Juventus, Sandro's it's a great example of the opposite of Allardyce. It's quite a sexy name, but they generally are awful.
Oh, you're talking about Sandro of QPR?
Yes.
At Tottenham, he was an absolute beast. It was just his knee.
No, he
had a bad knee.
Well, why did he come to QPR then?
Because of his knee. You're the only silly people that would take him.
Yeah, fair enough. You're just throwing money away. Right, it's Soldiers Lost in Battle time. Woo! Huge apologies last week for Flav not giving it the love.
I just couldn't do it. It's your thing.
All right.
I know.
But explain to Mr. Howson and the people, if it's the first time they're watching, what Soldiers Lost in Battle is.
Stephen, I'm sure in your life you've had these situations where you've wanted to go to the football, but outside influences, wives, girlfriends, or husbands, kids, cats,
Lovers, friends
have got in the way from you enjoying some lovely football on a Saturday afternoon. Soldiers Lost in Battle is our homage to those men and women who have not benefited from a great day at the football.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, but I can't do that and read it out, can I?
Yeah, true. That's
It's
why
a
I pass
rare
it
one
on.
that I've missed a game.
Have you got any? Have you ever had some bad...
Personal ones, not really, no. I mean, I've got some...
You wouldn't allow anything to get in the way of a good game of football.
I've got some unbelievable ones of getting to a game. Like,
Really? Making it?
The first leg of that European Cup semi-final in 2008, I watched in Iraq. I was on tour in the army.
Wow.
I had a little bet with my sergeant, like, if we're still in this game...
Do you think I've been in the army?
It might walk past one day. Like, I had a little bet with my sergeant and said, like, if we're still in this game, Barcelona won it, flying. I was like, if we're still in this game, I could make it home for the second leg. And he was like, let's see how the game goes first. So we're still in the game, and I went, "We get out of here or what?" And he said no. And I think the first leg was on a Wednesday, the following leg was on a Tuesday, something along those lines. And then it gets
when
to
you say
Saturday.
get out of it, you mean get out of the country?
Yeah, just
or do you mean
leave.
get out of the pub? Or?
No, I was in Iraq, so
There was no pub.
no. So I was like, "Can I go home?"
Yeah.
So,
We get to the Saturday, and he goes, "Look," he goes, I can't put you on a flight because obviously there's all these different manifests and this, that, and the other. You have to just like fucking leave essentially."
Right.
So
What?
on the Saturday,
With permission.
yeah, with
Right.
permission. So I'd done all my handing over, and
Right.
essentially you spend like a week just scratching your nuts, like doing absolutely nothing while the next squadron's coming out there. And I was like, on a Saturday, he goes, "Right, you can get out of here if you want." I was like, "Sweet." So I've got all my shit, my weapon wrapped up in a sandbag. I'm just knocking on helicopter doors.
Is that your gun? Is that your...
Just trying to hitch a lift out of the base.
Yeah.
Really?
So I flew from
Incredible.
Basra to Baghdad, from Baghdad to Kuwait to Qatar to Turkey to Cyprus to Germany, and then I managed to get a flight to Brize Norton, which is the RAF base in Brize Norton, phoned my dad up on the day of the game. I landed there at dinner time. I was like, "Dad, I'm in England," and he's like, "What?" Because I hadn't managed to speak to anyone in all that time. I've been awake, I'm wearing my deserts, I've got my body armour, I've got a weapon, and he's like, "Yeah, alright." So my dad blew work,
Yeah.
brought me a change of clothes, and steams down the motorway, picks me up at Brize Norton. We go straight to the match. We get there at 7:30. We've had a couple of Budweiser. I've still got sand in my ears.
Yeah.
And watch Paul Scholes can bury that goal from the edge of the box. We're going to Moscow. Like,
What a
haven't seen my
story
wife.
that is.
Haven't seen my son. Still gets brought up in arguments.
Really? I love that. That is the total opposite of what I'm about to do. That's him finding a way and getting to the football.
Yeah, I mean that's a soldier who was in battle, who got out.
Yeah, despite being in Iraq, not everyone's as lucky as you, Stephen. As I'm
I
about
know, I
to
got some
explain.
cracking holiday resorts.
Really,
That is superb.
This is gonna. This may come across trivial now.
Crack on.
Let's see. Here we go. So, no, caring is sharing. Here we go. It's soldiers lost in battle, and one epic story and a sad one of that. Here we go.
This is not embarrassing
Yeah,
at all.
I'm just saying that the music hasn't started for some reason. This difficult story to read comes from Swiftair1. I've been travelling through Europe and I was living and helping a family in Austria for a couple of weeks in exchange for a place to stay and eat before continuing with my journey. I do little jobs when and if they need doing, and I was given the task of removing old plants in the garden. Funnily enough, whilst listening to this very podcast. Jamel15. No matter where I am or what situation I'm in, I always watch Liverpool play. Liverpool were playing Huddersfield soon, and the family knew, or at least it was very clear, that this was important to me. So I worked quickly and efficiently to try and get the job done. I didn't quite finish the job. But I thought I could finish it quickly the next day, so satisfied with the job well done, I sat down in the house and watched the Red Men. 10 minutes into the game, the father came up to me and asked me to finish the job. I explained Liverpool were playing, and he instantly told me to pack my backpack and get out. That's it. No discussion, no warning. Everything had been fantastic up until that point, and this shocked me to the very core. I tried to talk to him, but he refused to talk to me at all. Shocked, anxious, confused, embarrassed. I did what any football fan would do. I carried on watching the game. But I couldn't focus on it. The ball on the pitch blurred out of focus as my mind drifted to what the fuck had just happened. No matter how hard I tried to concentrate and enjoy the game, I couldn't. It had been ruined, and to rub salt in the wound, Liverpool had a poor first half and it stayed 0-0. I thought to myself, if it stays at 0-0 or we lose, I'm going to fucking flip out worse than an Arsenal fan, blood. Second half came, and although an improvement in performance, it stayed 0-0. I was told to go upstairs and pack my bag and had an altercation with the father. He didn't like football. Shock, right? And couldn't or wouldn't understand my passion and reasons for it. Things got really nasty. So I turned off the laptop to pack and I left. Later that evening, I checked the scores, and of course, Sturridge scored 7 minutes after I'd left, and Liverpool later won 3-0. I don't have a negative feeling for the guy. I don't have negative feelings for the guy because he told me to leave. I do, however, feel like making his life miserable for making me miss the second half. fucking prick.
I mean, that was a fantastic story. Well done, Jim, right?
Well done, Swift.
And well done, Swift Dave. Why has he been kicked out of his house for not doing a job? I sense that he's a bit of a problem in the household, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
What's the truth?
Yeah, tell us the truth in detail. Why did your dad kick you out for this?
No.
He kicked out to leave.
You missed the key part.
You missed the key part.
He's in Austria backpacking.
Well done, Stephen. You concentrated.
I missed that
He was in Austria
Comprehension,
travelling,
mate.
and it was the father of the place where he was doing odd jobs.
But I think you're right. I think what really happened is you got caught sniffing the knickers, and when he came down, you see you watching a match, he thinks you bang him on out while you got the laptop out, and he's like, you dirty little pervert, out of my house. Rapid.
Building the world's first football community.
Sorry, I missed that. I got so caught up into it all. I had visuals of his dad, and I was thinking, what's going on in the family?
That's
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. One of the best we've ever had.
Great story there about Swift Te. One, don't know why I have to say it like that. Great writing. I was proud to bring it to life. Well done for sharing with us. We need more soldiers lost in battle. It is my favourite bit, and I like reading them out.
Follow up though. I want to know what you've stolen while you've been backpacking,
tell us the
because
truth,
I'm pretty sure you
Swifty.
have to steal to backpack.
Tell us the truth. So that was Soldiers Lost in Battle.
Well done.
Right, that is the end of this podcast. It's a bloody good podcast, I feel.
Very enjoyable. Thank you very much,
I've enjoyed
Stephen.
it. Where can they find you, mate? Not literally, like on the internet.
Just like I'm on the tube and then like
Well,
just Stephen Howson on YouTube for some really, really biased United stuff and the occasional. Do you know what I've done? I've had like 3 trips over the last couple of months, and I've gone and I've checked out football. Went to Bilbao with
Bilbao's
Dave.
amazing,
that was quality. Went to Marseille and hung out with Paddy Evra for a little bit. That was awesome. I didn't influence him kicking in people's heads. I don't endorse that. Often.
Depends.
And then I went to Bahrain, and I like doing like football travel stuff. Like if you've been to a game, I don't want to go to that game. I don't want to go to the big games. I want to go to weird games like that no one would even think about going to. So my plan for like next year onwards, because let's face it, it's December and I've got a cold and I can't be asked doing anything this month. But my plan for next year is just to keep going to the weirdest games I can find.
That's a cracking shout.
And seeing what it's all about, because you learn something, or I've learned something in every single place that I've gone to. I've learned something about the local game. Cause, too many people just consuming football on TV, and we said this earlier, didn't we? We were talking about where's that younger generation going to go and watch football. There's a whole world of football out there. It doesn't revolve around the Premier League, doesn't revolve, and I know people see United as a massive problem with that, and me being a United fan as a massive problem of this, commercialised TV sort of game. I love going and experiencing all sorts. Like the other week I was at the Hyde when they were setting fire to the plastic pitch for the FA Cup game. I love going watching live football wherever I can find.
So wait, these are documentaries you're putting together, are they?
Sort of, yeah. I'm sort of dipping my toe in that kind of thing. Like the Bilbao one was a bit of an attempt. It was only like 7 minutes long or something like that. So it's not a long one. But yeah.
And this is on your YouTube channel, Steve Howson.
So as I get more experience and more practice at doing it, a lot of it I'm filming on my own. So as I get better at that, I mean, there's tons of ones that I'm checking out. Like I'm going to go to Kerala Blasters in India, 80,000 people. Wow. Can you imagine what that's like in there in India? It's going to be off the charts, isn't it? So it's one of the most watched clubs in the world.
And you'll be hitchhiking back, I imagine?
Possibly. There's a couple of ex-United players there, like Rennie Mullenstein is coaching, and Berbatov's there, Wes Brown's there, so...
Showing him out there as well.
He's at a different team, but he's out there, yeah. So, I mean, like... We like I said earlier, we kid ourselves, don't
just
we?
Give
Probably every now and then, isn't it?
The thing is, he probably...
First yards in your head.
He probably still could. I
saw him at 42, he's playing for Colchester.
Yeah, right.
Loves it.
Yeah, I mean, he was walking. But he did look exactly the same.
But we kid ourselves, don't we? Like, it's this world game, and it's not, but there is a game out there.
There's so much going on there.
Yeah, there's not enough that people are showing of that Indian Super League, which is probably billions of people watching it, or the Chinese Super League, or South American football. We hear about it, the occasional Copa de Libertadores and stuff like that. I like going out there to the dirty arseholes of the world.
I like this is one of my favourite things about football. And when you forget about all these millionaire stars and billionaire stars, soon to be, no doubt, and all the money in the game, it's the thing that fascinates me with this sport is the cultures that surround it and the stories behind what goes on in the football pitch.
What's the match day culture like in China?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to go and experience and find out. Like,
and record it, because I'd love to see that.
In Bahrain, it's all about sunflower seeds, which is the messiest food in the pissing world, and it's just everywhere.
Really?
Just sunflour seeds all over the floor.
What, they're throwing it, or you eat it?
No, you eat them. But you eat it. To eat it,
it takes
it's a nightmare. It's like, and I love just finding out the local culture everywhere is.
Man, sounds
I do love
fascinating.
that sort of stuff, and that's what the game's all about for me.
Yeah, well, check that out. Check out the FanLeague app. We're going to be doing a video on the FanLeague channel, going through these big games and saying who we think are gonna win them. So make sure you go check it out. We need you in our league. We really do. Being 250th is not good enough.
I'm supposed to know about football.
I know. So we need your help. So join us in the league.
Not if you crap though.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, anyone. Download the app. Anyone.
And also, Pep versus Jose from close friends to what was it?
Bitter Enemies.
Bitter Enemies.
Yeah.
That is a documentary that's coming out on the Bull Street channel tomorrow.
Friday.
Not tomorrow. Yeah,
Friday.
It goes out Thursday, so tomorrow Friday. Go and check that out. It is cracking. It shows the whole story of it, and it's fascinating. Thanks, mate. We'll see you next time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you soon.
Download the app and join today.